Believe it or not, some sad people hate the fact that I be drinking coffee at the start of almost all my videos. I pray for you, I really do. But folks, that's not what we're talking about today, not even close, because we have a very special item from Supreme that is finally coming out this week. Many of you have yearned for it. The children crave it. Inject it into our veins, please, sir. Well, I have it on good authority that finally, after 15 long weeks of waiting, the Supreme AOI embroidered work jacket is dropping for week 16. Let's talk about this item and a few other pieces in the early week 16 preview. This ain't no full drop list, folks, so hold your horses. But let's start the week off strong with your daily dose of hype and get right into it. Before we get started, I want to remind you guys to please hit like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Hit that noti bell so you can stay up to date every single time I post and go live. I'm on my way to 5,000 subscribers, and at 5K, I plan on doing a huge Supreme giveaway. I also just dropped my Supreme track day vlog, driving around in a Honda Civic Type R at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, having a blast. I'd really appreciate if you guys check out that video, give it some love, leave a comment on it, because the YouTube algorithm, sometimes it ain't too kind. But with all that out of the way, let's talk about our main item right here and the Supreme AOI hooded work jacket. Yes, folks, it's true. Finally, we are getting the hooded work jacket with the matching camp caps from AOI this week for week 16 of spring summer 2025. Such an incredible item to look at, and just noticing all the different embroideries. I feel like you could own this jacket for years and still not fully grasp every single piece of embroidery on this thing. I totally understand where all the hype is coming from, but there is one slight problem, and we are still early, right? We don't even have Supreme Drops' partial drop list. It isn't even out yet. So estimated prices are still very much in the works, but we are getting estimations that the jacket is going to retail for $698, nearly $700, which is pretty rough when you consider that it is just a work jacket with, yes, some crazy embroidery, but the work jacket, I imagine, is similar to like the regular Supreme work jackets that we get from anywhere high 200s, low 3s. I feel like that's kind of where the work jacket lives in the Supreme lineup there. If that's the case, I'm gonna predict the hat to be around $98, maybe $88, but it's certainly not gonna be no $40, $50. I mean, if it's high 60s, that's a steal. But when you consider how expensive that jacket is, it's gotta be the upcharge from the AOI embroidery. And if we look at AOI stuff from the past, I did a whole video on it a couple weeks ago. If you want to check that out too for a little recap, it's clear that this embroidery stuff, it ain't super cheap. Now there's the argument to be made that could this be done for $400? I think so. I don't think $700 is the real like cost of the item. Of course, they want to make money. It's art at the end of the day. It's Supreme clothing. We've kind of all known that this is not the most high quality brand, and we're okay with that. We like the designs, the quality. In my opinion, it's better than most clothing brands, right? It's no H&M fast fashion bullshit, but is it on the level of like designer, completely boutique? No, of course not. What I can say is this jacket is absolutely insane, and I'm trying to predict right now to help you guys out which one I think is going to do better on the aftermarket. And it's super tough. Obviously, we'll never know until it releases. That's when the jig's up. The market's going to do what the market does. If I were to go with my brain, I would say go for the black jacket. It gives the best amount of visibility on each of the embroideries. We're zooming in here. We're looking at the individual Supreme, reading that right there, that yellow Supreme. Reading it on the Fire Edition is a little tougher. This is more of a fever dream. If I said going with your brain is the black, going with your heart could be the red, with that fiery passion, that summertime just wah. You know what I mean? Jumping in the pool, cannonball, son, right? We're getting wet in this $700 jacket. I don't care. It's pretty crazy. Just so many cool details. You got the Grim Reaper over here. Didn't even notice him. He's got the sickle, the scythe, one might say. You got a D6 dice, which is what I call a regular dice now that I'm a D&D player. Got the Akira pill, naturally. Some stars. I've been thinking this is SpongeBob. It's not, but we're gonna call him SpongeBob for now. Some random numbers, 28. I mean, I could list all the embroideries. Actually, I definitely could. There's too many abstract images that I would have no idea what they fully are. I do love this. That is cool. The cross and the devil, it's a good versus evil there. Saw one of you guys said you're not getting it because the devil's on it, which, hey, fair enough, I guess. I'm not getting it because it's $700, to be honest. And, well, I just have a very important weekend coming up and we'll be out of town again and need some extra money. Let's just say your boy's going to Vegas and attending to some business, okay? I'll leave it at that. So even if there is money to be made, which I think there will be, honestly, on the high end, I could see this jacket going up to $1,000. I don't think there is going to be a ton of quantity, especially with the in-store stuff with this high level of embroidery. If it really is 700 bones, I just don't think they're going to be cranking these things out. This is going to be an exclusive item. If it's 700, like minimum is mid eights, low eights, potentially like 820. There's still going to be $100 to be made, but should you be spending 700 to potentially make 8? That's up to you. I think more likely than not, one of the colorways will be $50 to $150 more profitable, similar to the Jeff Hamilton SpongeBob SquarePants racing jacket we saw, with the black being a little bit more sought after than the white and blue. But overall, I think this jacket is going to be the hottest item of the week by far, regardless of the price. The people that can afford to drop 700 on it are going to be copping, and that's just the way it is. I also don't think resale on the hats will be non-existent. It's absolutely not going to be as good as the jacket for obvious reasons, but I still think it's a great personal pickup, and that amount of embroidery on a camp looks super awesome. And I would say for this guy, man, the black is just so much more wearable. You could wear that with damn near any single outfit. Absolutely, you could go with the red, but just look at them side by side. The black is by far the better hat, but go with your gut. You don't have to listen to what I say if you don't agree with it. That's the one thing that I want you guys to know. I'm giving you my opinion, and I try to make the best judgment, consider other people's opinion, and what I've learned about Supreme from the past 12 or so years that I've been involved in the scene in one way or another. But I can't make every prediction. I'm not shooting 100%. At the end, you got to go with your gut. In other news, we also have the Supreme summer sunglasses releasing this week. I don't think many people care for Supreme sunglasses. They are fairly overpriced. I mean, it is the first technical season that Essilor Luxottica, owner of Ray-Ban, is in charge of Supreme, but with how seasons get produced in the fashion and streetwear world, especially for a brand like Supreme, all these sunglasses were created under VF Corp almost 100%. And as someone who just uses HSA to get a new pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses, I'm not really too excited about Supremes. I'd rather go with a classic Wayfarer style. Plenty of other brands to get. I'd recommend using your insurance to get some too, if you can. Maybe that's a privileged position for me, coming as an American at least, right? Jesus. And last but not least, the Yonex E-Zone 100 tennis racket is dropping this week too, which is incredible. Got a 100 square inch head, 16 by 19 open string pattern, printed logos, 27 inch length, 305 grams / 10.8 ounces unstrung weight. Tennis players, you tell me what that means. Made in Japan. Pretty cool. Great timing also, right after the French Open. Definitely a solid piece for the collectors. If you like the Supreme sports items, you want to hang it up on your wall. Of course, you want to use it. This will be very usable. Let's look at here what the isometric racket creates. 7% larger sweet spot, which is huge for racket sports. I play a lot of pickleball. Having that sweet spot in there, you definitely want that to be as big as possible. I'm a big technology guy. I love hearing about different materials that are used in sports equipment, sneakers, the specs of a new car, all that kind of thing. So we're just looking at the Yonex E-Zone brand, which is their proprietary technology, the VDM vibrational dampening mesh. I just wanted to see how much it costs, to be honest. Here's the regular one. And looking at the racket, I see this E-Zone 100 on Tennis Warehouse for $305. It's tough with rackets because there's so many different distributors and so many different sub-brands and other kinds of intricacies. Like, look at all these different grip sizes, colorways. But it looks like this is 300 grams. It's slightly different, but more or less the same. I'm guessing the Supreme racket's going to be anywhere from $268 to $328. That's a wide price range right now, probably on that higher end. It definitely is the E-Zone 100. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned to the full drop list. Well, boys, there you have it. the most anticipated Supreme item of spring summer 2025 is dropping this week. I mean, it's top voted for left to drop on Supreme community. It is gonna be expensive. Most of us knew that. Did we think $700? Well, I wasn't thinking $700. I knew it was gonna be at least $5, but at that point, who freaking cares? At the end of the day, we buy these clothes because we love them. If you got disposable income, buy it. If you feel like you're trying to stretch yourself too thin, you feel like you're scrambling around your house to sell the copper wire inside your walls, you know, it's probably not a good idea to buy this AOY jacket. It'll still be there eventually. And if you're trying to make some money, hey, I think there's money to be made. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's get hyped up for the week. Stay tuned for the full drop list. Check out my track day vlog. Put a lot of effort into the filming of that. The GoPros were going crazy. We got my dad. He's in the mix, doing his thing. You love to see it. Subscribe and help me get 5K so we can have that freaking giveaway, man. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.